That's TRAXXFMOFFICIAL. And if you'd like to say hello, or you'd like to give any shout out to anybody, or you'd like to show us some love by giving us a thumbs up or a love, it would be nice as well. Should you have any questions for today, we will gladly try to answer it as soon as possible. But anyway, if you want to know who is in the studio right now, it is, of course, our very own Associate Professor Nuradli Ridzwan Shah. He's the Faculty of Economics and Muamalat, University of Science Islam Malaysia, USIM, talking about subsidized cooking oil. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Oh, wait. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for being in the studio. And you came earlier as well. And thank you so much for coming. And it's a hot topic today as well when it comes to subsidized cooking oil. People have been, it's no longer on shelves right now. So that's a very big issue now. So can you tell us a bit about what do you think about the subsidized goods?
Well, okay. When we talk about subsidized good, it's actually when the government actually put and imposed that there is some restriction, okay, on the goods, for example, especially in the necessities categories, for example, cooking oil or maybe petrol oil, energies, and so on. Right. So basically, it's actually trying to give the to reduce the impacts of high prices of that particular goods. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, if you look at the global economy right now, okay, the price has skyrocketed, right? Price has skyrocketed because of the pandemic, okay, COVID-19. We have been about almost 2.5 years, okay, affected by the COVID. And also there is another issue, which is the geopolitical issue, right, which is the Russian and so versus Ukraine, which actually has escalated the prices of commodities, energies, okay, oil, right, which actually affect, okay, indirectly to also countries such as Malaysia, right? So, for example, we are net we call it importers. So basically, we are importing food, okay, meat and from other countries. So when we are importing, so we are also importing the inflation. We are also importing the prices from the other countries, which are because of the problem. Right. So now here, when we look at the situations, okay, some government will provide subsidies, okay, to the people, for them to be able to afford to buy the necessities things, okay, that will be needed to survive in the world, okay, to survive in daily life. So for me, there are two, what I call it, there are two, I would call it pro and cons, okay. The pro is that maybe, okay, it's actually help the needies, okay, for example, the B40s, okay, when you are being subsidized. But the other one is actually when we look at from the open market, okay, so they're saying that we should not subsidize, but let the price, okay, to be according to the market supply and demand, okay, of the economy, right? So there are arguments between these two we call it two groups, okay. One is actually we need to subsidize the people. The other one, we let it to be market decide. Let the market decide. Okay, what will be the
global market, you mean?
Yeah, the global market. Oh. Now, for example, okay, when we're talking about the cooking oil, all right? So it's actually from what I call it, the palm oil, right? Palm oil. When we notice that during the February 2022, the price of the FCPO, crude palm oil has increased, okay, until 7,000 ringgit per ton.
And before this is what?
It's all, okay. Before that, we have like a range between 2,000 to 4,000. That is the normal range.
Okay.
Right, but it actually the
value increased.
The price increased.
Price increased.
The price increased. Okay, when the Russian and also Ukraine conflict arise, okay, happened, and then what happened is that the price goes up to 7,000. And now it's actually going back to 4,000 level.
Oh, okay.
But still, it's above the high price since when we look at the commodity prices, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually there is like the we can say that it's the low level and then the upper level.
Okay.
Commodities, because there are substitute. Okay, for example, if you have if the price goes more than 4,000, for example, more for 4,000 per ton, the buyers will shift to soy oil. Okay,
Okay.
because there is substitute.
Okay.
And then if the price goes down to 2,000, okay, the buyers also will try to rush and buy, okay,
see.
the palm oil, right? So basically, the price is normal range is between 2,000 and 4,000.
Yes.
But during the conflict, it goes to 7,000. Right? So that's why sometimes why the increase, okay, in cooking oil for our consumption is actually they're saying that the price actually one kilo is actually supposed to be 9 ringgit.
Yeah.
But the government has subsidized it
Yes.
and giving it at 2 ringgit and 50 cent per kilo, right, per liter, right? So that is actually how they want to subsidize so that people can actually still afford to buy the cooking oil.
Yeah.
But if you look at, for example, in Indonesia, all right, so they ban, okay, their export of palm oil.
Ah.
Okay,
That's a different strategy.
Different
Yeah.
strategy.
Okay.
They ban the what you call it, the export. Okay, what happens is that, okay, because the people, okay, they are also facing the problem of high prices, so they ban the export to other countries, right? But now the problem is that because when they ban or they restrict for exporting, the price of palm oil in Indonesia is actually about 1,200. This is not refined yet, yeah. 1,200 ringgit per ton. Oh no, sorry, 120 ringgit per ton, which is very very low, because the factories that they are not willing to accept, right? Because when they produce it to become oil, it is still they cannot cover their costs. So there is a problem also doing that, okay? Because they want to make sure that the people can
afford
can
to
afford
purchase the cooking oil. I see. So that's the reason why they actually cut off the export, is because they want to make it available for the rakyat, for the community there.
But the best part is that because they don't export, then we are one of the major exporters. Then we are benefiting. Right, we are benefiting from the high prices because the demand is not.
It's there.
The demand is there, but the supply is actually, low. Right, because of Indonesia restricting their export. So that's why the price of the palm oil is actually high at that particular time.
Oh, okay. We're talking to, if you've just tuned in right now, we're talking to Associate Professor Nur Adli Ridwan Shah from the Faculty of Economics and Muamalat, University Science Islam Malaysia, USIM, talking about subsidized cooking oil. So I'd just like to say hello for those who are actually online right now. Thank you so much. And if you have anything you'd like to ask or any questions, you can do so via our Facebook Live right now. Thank you very much, Patricia Lim Lee Tiang, for tuning in. Floyd C, thank you so much. And if you feel that this conversation is important to anybody else, you please do share this conversation. All right. So anyway, back to the question at hand. Before we break, just one question before we break. The government has announced the removal of cooking oil subsidy for bottled cooking palm oil, 2 kilograms, 3 kilograms, and 5 kilograms bottled palm cooking oil. Can you tell us what is the reason behind it?
Okay, from my reading is basically when we look at how the cooking oil can be transported, okay, and also can be swindled, okay, the subsidies, okay, the bottle one is actually very easy to be exported as compared to the packet one,
yeah.
all right. So the reason is that, okay, they remove, okay, the subsidies for 2 kilo and then 3 kilo and 5 kilo because it is easy to be manipulated by certain parties, okay, by the sellers lah,
okay,
right? So they restrain from selling to the rakyat, but they sell to maybe to other countries, which is much more higher in prices. So they make a lot of profit.
That's another issue over there.
Okay, but the quantity of subsidized cooking oil is still the same, 60,000 metric ton. So it's still the same. Even though they uplift, okay, the subsidy for the bottles one, but the quantity of subsidized is still remain the same, 60,000. And then okay, this is one of the problem of subsidies, okay? Because people tend to manipulate that because
Yeah,
this is
take advantage
take
of it.
advantage of it.
Yeah.
So that's why I say that there are pro and cons about it, right? So the reason why, okay, the main reason is why because there are some people manipulating the subsidies. Okay, that's why they uplift the 2 kilo and 3 kilo and 5 kilo because when you want to transport, it's very easy compared to the packet one.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for that brief, acknowledgement of what's happening with the subsidized goods, especially when it comes to cooking oil. Would this move actually cause user to change and finding other alternatives? Would you say that as well?
Well, this is actually probably yes. Okay. Now, when we talk about commodity, right? So there is substitute product just now.
Yes,
So
correct.
basically, if the price of that cooking oil, for example, cooking palm oil is very high, then people tend to switch to another product.
Could be
Okay.
corn oil.
Could be, right? Could be, all right. And then if it is too low, then people will start to rush and buy. Okay, so that is the normal. Okay, but this time is actually abnormal, extraordinary time. Okay, since the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, it actually has created an abnormal situation. So when we talk about if there is the users will be changing, okay, there were two things that they have to look into: whether you are ready to change your lifestyle
Yeah.
or you want to increase your income.
So
Okay.
those are the
Those are
that
the
we
two
can see
options
for now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So thank you very much for that. Thank you. We're talking to Associate Professor Nur Adli Ridwan Shah. He's from the Faculty of Economics and Muamalat, University of Science Islam Malaysia, talking about subsidized cooking oil, a very heated topic. So if you want to join in the conversation, you can do so via our Facebook account at Trax7 Official, or you can just call us at 0322825491 or 0322824746. I'm up for the lifestyle though. So what about you? Anyway, we have a short break right now and we'll be right back. Good morning, Malaysia. everybody, welcome. It's past 11. Good morning, Malaysia. Otto with you till 2 p.m. today. And we have the interview feature for today. And if you want to know who, you can log on to our Facebook account right now because we're going live on FB Live at Trax FM Official. We're talking to Associate Professor Nur Adli Ridwan Shah from the Faculty of Economics and Muamalat, University Science Islam Malaysia, talking about subsidized cooking oil. Thank you so much, Professor, for being in the studio with us. Now,
Thank you.
The price of cooking oil hike up before the government even announced the abolishment of cooking oil subsidy. Could this affect even the B40 sooner or later?
Well, if with the subsidies, okay, probably it will be okay for the B40 because they are still getting the price at RM2.50 per litre, right? So which is, there will be no effects if the subsidy is still there. The question is that whether the government is still can afford to subsidize, okay? Whether they can still afford to subsidize because it requires a lot of money, okay, to subsidize the cooking oil, right? So this is the thing lah. If we have some budget, then we really need to prioritize which one is
important.
One is important. Okay, when we talk about this, okay, it will also depends on how the authority, all right, will prioritize in certain things. Okay, but in the term of economy, so we are talking about improving our economy, okay, which is growing our economy.
Yeah.
And also, one thing is that because we have two problems right now, which is the high rise price, which is inflation, right? And also the economy, I can say deceleration, right? Now we are not talking about Malaysia. We are talking about the global economy. So the World Bank has just released the report stating that the world economy is decelerating, okay, about 3.4% for the emerging countries. So which is lesser than what they are supposed to be. For example, they are targeting about 5%.
So you're saying that there's just slowing down, just to be cautious?
No. That's not because of cautious, because of this problem of just Russia and Ukraine
just because
now,
of that crisis.
the spillover effects actually dampen the economy, right? So there are a lot of spillover effects. For example, the high prices of oil, the high prices of commodities, and then also the impact of tightening monetary policies. So you can see that central bank of many countries has actually increasing the OPR, okay, to reduce inflation, right? And then and many more, right? And many more. So there are two problems that need to be tackled here. One is inflation. The other one is the slowing of growth. Amazingly, Malaysia is about 5% economic growth. GDP is about 5%, which is higher than the other countries or neighboring countries. But we are actually the same as Indonesia, 5%. Singapore is about 3.4%. The growth of GDP is 3.4%.
Okay.
And the emerging countries is about 3.4%. Right, emerging countries. Even the US also and the UK also. UK is good in the GDP, but they have a very high inflation. Even in US also, they also have problem with inflation. So there are two problems there. One is slowing, okay, growth. The other one is inflation. Ours is okay, 5%. Still okay at second quarter, right? And then our inflation at CPI is just, I think, about 2%, still 2%.
Okay.
All right. So the now, okay, since all this happening around the world, okay, so probably the authority must have some tightened fiscal policy right now. Okay, they have you have a limited budget, and then you want to know where do you want to prioritize, so that we can make sure the economy grow, but the price is still maintained. There's no there's no price hike, okay, for our food and so on. So this is the challenge, okay, that any government, okay, not only Malaysia but any government in any countries, okay, so will be facing at the current moment. So when we talk about will it affect or not, okay, the B40, as long as the subsidies is there, then it should be okay. But these subsidies is the amount of money that need to be fork out from the budget. All right.
Yeah. So let's go back to the point where you said in the early of the hours of the show, you talked about lifestyle. Do you think that
Okay.
will make a change? Because now we see there's a lot of panic buying. It's hard for people to get cooking oil nowadays, and price is hiked up. I mean, would you say that changing our lifestyles as a pengguna,
Okay, just as a consumer. Yeah.
as a consumer, can help the economy in a certain way at a certain period of time, or could it be like a long term? We're talking about the grassroots here, the people themselves. Yeah.
So when we talk about lifestyle, I think we are talking about the consumers, so we individuals. Okay, but when a lot of many individuals, it becomes a society, right? So it can actually become a movement. Okay, in terms of that. And when changing lifestyle is not an easy thing. It's easy to say, but it's difficult to be done, right?
True.
For example, if you want to say that, okay, you want to change your lifestyle to become healthier, okay, you want to reduce cooking oil, you want to use air fryer, or you want to use boil instead of frying, or you're boiling, right? So that is actually a major shift to your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, because you say that you can say you want to live
A healthier lifestyle, right?
So basically, it's not easy, right? It's not easy, but it can be done. It can be done if you want to change. But it's actually, I'm not saying that because this is it's not my forte, right? So but in terms of lifestyle, yes. But if you don't want to change your lifestyle, what you can do, okay, if you want to sustain of the price hikes or whatever, okay, we have to increase our income, right? Because our expenses are still the same, okay, but the price will be increased. Then we must cover it with higher income lah. So higher expenses and higher income. So there are two ways lah, right, at the moment. Okay, one is to reduce your expenses for this what call it the price, which is that has increased whatever by changing your lifestyle. The second one is you don't want to change your lifestyle, you want to maintain your lifestyle, then you have to increase the income.
That's
All
it.
right.
So if you have any suggestions, or you just want to let us know what you think, you can always do so. Call us at 0322825491 or 0322824746, or alternatively, you can go on to our FB Live right now and just give us what are your thoughts on today's topic. So I have Muhammad Huzaini says, I'm working at plantation sector and a bit sad that hard to find a cooking oil. The fact that we produce palm oil every day, the government should sit together with the industrial players to solve this issue. I mean, that's a very good apt suggestion. Thank you very much, Muhammad Huzaini, for that. And if you have any qualms, or you like to think that this information is very important, share it to your friends right now and let us know what are your thoughts. We're talking to Associate Professor Nuradli Rizwan Shah from the Faculty of Economics and Muammanat from University Science Islam Malaysia, talking about subsidized cooking oil. So it's either you change your lifestyle or not. Stick with it. It's totally up to you. You as a consumer have the power to do so and change the world, apparently. So make sure that you make the right choice. Now, we'll be right back. So we're going to take a short break with a good professor. So stay tuned. Good morning, Malaysia. 43 minutes past 11. Good morning, Malaysia. Auto coming to you live from Angkasa Puri, Kuala Lumpur. Also live on our FB Live right now at Trax FM Official. And we're talking to our guest today, Associate Professor Nur Adli Ridwan Shah from the Faculty of Economics and Muamalat, University of Science Islam Malaysia. I'm talking about subsidized cooking oil, a very heated topic right now. And we have only about a couple of minutes more before we let you go, Professor. Now, you already mentioned that that changing lifestyle could be one of the ways that we can actually, not defeat this issue, but, make sure that our lifestyle is much more healthier and should not be worried about, subsidized cooking oil and all that. Could be one of the strategies which the government currently is doing. But then again, there are some back people who actually, take advantage of people who are less fortunate, which is, does go beyond the concept of Keluarga Malaysia. We should actually take care of each other and, make sure that each of us are doing our part to make sure that all of us are in good shape and making sure that Malaysia is great again. So you've gave us alternatives, whether we stay or we change our lifestyle altogether. Thank you very much for that. So is there another best way that you can say to, how do you say? Not defeat, but rather go over this subsidized cooking oil?
Well, if we don't have this subsidy, right? So basically, the price will be depending on the market, right? The supply and demand, and then the prices will be very high at the moment if we are looking at the price of the FCPO, right? The crude palm oil. So we can see that there will be a very sharp increase in our expenses. Okay, sharp increase in our because cooking oil is actually essential for our cooking, right?
Yeah.
Unless we change, right? Unless we change our lifestyle, instead of frying, then we boil. Kan?
Yes.
You goreng telur or you rebus telur, right? So you fry the eggs or whether you boil the egg. So basically, it tastes might be different, okay, but there is like something where we have to change our lifestyle.
Yeah.
Another thing is that probably in terms of another alternative, right? So there is also maybe some people say that you can use we call it air fryer, right? And then that is also another thing. But the taste might be different.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot different. I can say a lot different.
Yeah.
Or maybe using microwave or whatever. Right. So that is also can actually reduce our consumption of
expenses on buying cooking oil as well.
Right.
But what is your message to all Malaysian users currently right now?
We need to check our our expenses. Okay. Our monthly expenses and whether we actually can cover or not. Right. So yes, there are some increase or decrease in the prices, but sometimes it can affect our daily expenses.
Yeah.
So we have to always check, okay, and then see if we cannot do this, what would be the alternative? Okay, what we will do, right? So if we cannot get some, we call it, for example, we used to use 20 liters per month or 30 liters per month. So in order to reduce it, then what should we do?
Yeah.
Right. So checking our expenses and then checking the alternative, okay, ways of reducing the thing might be possible for the consumers, but it's actually very difficult. To do, because sometimes we are not cooking, we go out and we eat out and so on, right? So but instead of eating out, we cook, right? So that is something changing our lifestyle, which is there might be some people says that okay is you can say that if you don't do this, you will change like this. So but I'm sorry, but sometimes we have to do it lah.
Yeah. Speaking of this, about added more expenses and trying to find other alternatives to gain more income, we're talking about also recently Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has announced an additional allocation of about 100 million ringgit for the informal and microfinancing scheme under the National Entrepreneur Group Economic Fund Tekun. He also announced an additional allocation of about 30 million ringgit for the Bumi Putra Enterprise Enhancement Program as well under SME Cooperation Malaysia. So what is your thoughts on that?
Okay, when we talk about earlier in the program, we will talk about the global economy, and also we have been talking about how to increase the GDP, right? And also how to curb the inflation. So what my personal opinion is that when they provide this grant. So not grant. I think it's actually funds.
It's a fund, yes.
Fund to the micro and also the informal SMEs,
yes.
and also for the SMEs, they are actually trying to make sure that the economy grow at a very good pace, rather than very very slow.
Okay.
Right. So because as mentioned before, we have a certain budget, a tightening fiscal policies ability.
Yes.
So you need to prioritize. Okay, the fund. How do you want to increase the GDP?
Yes.
Right. So one of the ways is actually making sure that the small and also the informal sectors, okay, and also the SMEs to be able to survive the whatever effects of the pandemic, and also to survive in the future.
Exactly.
Okay, and when we talk about the program that is actually for digitalization, for e-commerce, for transforming the company to become like I can say it's a hybrid lah, between brick and mortar and also the digitalized business.
Yeah.
So it's a hybrid combination of both,
Totally
right? So
agree.
basically it's trying to transform and preparing these small businesses, which is also the engine of the economy,
Exactly.
to become ready for the IR 4.0 and also the new economy that we are looking forward.
I would totally agree. Thank you very much, Associate Professor Nur Adli Rizwan Shah from the Faculty of Economics and Muamalat from University of Science Islam Malaysia. We're talking about subsidized cooking oil. Thank you once again for being in the studio.
Thank you so much.
I would just like to add that, for those we already see, and the good professor already announced that, government is trying to help out entrepreneurs because you guys are the backbone of the country, to make sure that the value of us towards other countries goes up, so that we can actually get more income for our country as well. So please do not take advantage of other people as well who are trying to make a living, because that's just not a good way of doing it. All right. So if you see somebody or a company trying to take advantage, you have to report to the authorities. Right. Meantime, we've got the news coming up at the top of the hour. Once again, thank you so much. I've taken a lot of your time, Professor.
Thank you so much, Shato. All right.
We are going for a short break, and then we have the news at the top of the hour, and I'll be right back. Good morning, Malaysia.